Live from Flannel Beaver Studios, it's the Roman Podcast. I'm your host, Roman LeBeau.
And I'm Rob Cast.
I think we jumped the gun on this one.
No, you were so mesmerized with the new streaming graphic I put together this week. I think.
Actually, I was looking at it, but I was fine. I had killed the volume, and then all of a sudden it blasted the volume in my ears. I'm like, I got to kill that. I can't hear anything.
Yeah, so for those who we have a new standby and a new live stream starts now. It literally, you blink and you miss it. But anyway, that's we're constantly trying to improve here at the Roman Podcast.
That's right. That's right. Here, and I got to flip this back. There we go.
All right. Okay. So here we are. We're taking a break from our quarantine crossover series. We've had a ton of people. Amy Oust. We had Stefan Bernard. We had J-Man from JM360 Productions. Like it's been a lot of fun. So if we're forgetting anybody, we've reached out to a few people. So if we're forgetting, yeah, just reach out to us. We've been, we're all sitting at home here, so let's do a little crossover action.
Yeah, we're happy to have everybody, but it's like Christmas, we'd love to have you, but you can't stay here,
Yeah,
forever.
you got to go home. Yeah,
You got to go home. Give us a breather.
Yes.
And so here we are.
Yeah.
Breathing.
So here we are. Okay. So COVID update for yourself, Roman. What have you been doing? You're fortunate enough. You're work from home, and you're. I don't know how, but you're considered essential for some reason. But
Yeah, story of my life, man. I've been essential the whole time. I've been just working on other projects. Some stuff I can't talk about. But as you can see, I've kind of set up my rig a little different.
yes.
I've got different cabling. I've even inverted my microphone, look more professional. Actually, it's a lot easier when there's nothing in the way here.
Yes.
I've got more equipment I'm working with now, and more stuff on the way. And I'm using this stuff to do our podcasting, but also voiceover work and other stuff.
Right.
And that's keeping me pretty busy. Plus, I got to do my taxes.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah, you do, yeah, actually, but you're in luck because the deadline was a couple weeks ago, but now this year we have a new deadline. If you owe money, that's the thing.
And I'm sure I do.
Yeah. So here we are. If you're watching the live stream, you notice I have a nice little Canadian flag and a statue of Queen Victoria because it is Victoria Day here in Canada. I know in the States, what is it? Is this Columbus Day or a colonizer day or I don't know.
It means the same thing here. We just call it Victoria Day.
Yes, exactly. It's basically the May long weekend. So,
Yeah, Canadians don't call it Victoria Day. We call it May 24.
yeah, yeah.
Even though it doesn't actually fall on the 24th of May, it really means you're going to pick up a 2-4 a beer of 24.
Yeah,
a case of
2-4.
24.
Yeah, for those those international listeners, yeah, or a twofer is the correct translation on that. So other than that, so you're working, you're doing doing a bunch of side projects.
Yeah, helping out my help my brother get stuff, and my mom get stuff, and and then just enjoying the fact that I'm alone in my place during quarantine, looking out the window when people walk by and go, hug me,
touch
hug
me.
me. So
Oh boy, I'm the same way. Again, I'm just started. Actually, I got the people know I'm in the construction business, so our premier has let us off the chain for Tuesday. So tomorrow we can actually officially get back to work if you weren't doing so already. So but we still have to practice social distancing. But it's just basically one of the things that's trying to get in line. So if I go to a job site, I got to have all the protection and all the social distancing and whatever.
And I know that there were people who were breaking the rules and doing it a little earlier. Some got fined, others got sick.
Yeah.
So you just don't know, right? So
right.
I mean, I understand and I agree with staying home, right? But
Of course.
I also understand that businesses need to open, right? And it's important for people because we're losing businesses left, right, and center. It's crazy how many businesses are shutting down, and these people have no income whatsoever. So I'm not one of those people who will go protest in front of the government building and go like, oh, we don't need you to tell us what to do. We have an immune system. Not against this, you don't.
No, exactly. And also, too, let's not forget, again, we say this every week, just because you're feeling healthy and can't get sick, you might pass it on to somebody else, like to the elderly. And again, I got a daughter with type 1 diabetes. What gives you the right to dedicate to decide whether, oh well, it's not my fault she has a higher risk?
Well, it's when they asked, they're like, don't you know that people could get sick?
Yeah.
And they went, look, there's no unhealthy people here, and there's no elderly. We're fine. It's like, I'm gonna let you go home and read what asymptomatic means.
Yes.
I'll wait, because I think it's gonna take you about 3 days to figure out what it means.
Yep.
And then you'll understand.
And also, I saw a commercial where one guy was like, yeah, whatever. You know, I mean, we're gonna have some losses. We're gonna take a haircut and this and that. We're gonna like, he goes, so the guy interviewing him was like, so 70's not bad. He goes, yeah, 70's acceptable. Then he trotted out 70 people, and they're all his family members. So I guess they got together because this guy was being the dick in the family.
Right.
He goes, are these 70 good? He's like, no. So is one of these good? He's like, no. I'm like, yeah. So there you are. Like, stay the fuck home. You know what I mean? Like,
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And again, we have to do something, and I understand that. And again, the same thing when I'm going back to work. I'm on my own right now, so I social distance from everybody. I'm not on a huge crew at the moment, so it's just take your precautions. If you are essential, please take your precautions, but don't be stupid
take your
about
cack, all right?
and don't put it anywhere.
Yeah, no, like I said, and I really sympathize for the business owners. If you take precautions, especially for restaurant businesses, like some of them can't do takeout; they can only do in house. So people are trying all kinds of stuff. Like
Yes.
they were laughing at this place, I don't think they should have laughed at them, but they put like shower curtains between each set of tables. Well, shower curtains are made of plastic. That's actually a great idea.
Right.
Viruses don't get through plastic. They never have. They never can. That's why when you have like clean rooms, you have those doors that are just made of like plastic strips.
Right.
Because the viruses don't penetrate that stuff. And in Amsterdam, they have almost like booths you sit in that are like glass coffins. It's a bad image.
Yeah.
But they're glass coffins, and they close the door, and you don't have to worry about anybody interacting with you. People are smart; they'll come up with great ideas, but you have to be, you have to follow the rules. You can't sit there and go to the beach and just start hanging on everybody because you feel like this is all a scam. And
yeah,
and don't get me wrong, like some of them have said stuff like during times of crisis, it's usually that's when politicians grab power.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true.
Yep.
I mean, we don't need to get into the debate, but the gun grab from the U.S. From our prime minister is another thing that happened during this time.
Yep.
That could have been handled differently.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
debate-wise. I don't mean about. I'm not talking about any of the guns. I just literally mean how it was done. Would have been done differently had there been no pandemic. So it does happen, and they're doing it other ways as well, right?
Well, also, too, we have what we call up here in Canada. We have the War Measures Act. Now, it's a very seldom used, like if ever. I think it was used once when the FLQ was riding in the early 70s, and again in World War II, and I don't think we had it for World War I. Basically, it's basically gives you like gives this. It's almost like you're living in China all of a sudden. They can take you in without just cause, and it's a huge huge deal. That's why they
martial law.
Yeah, it's war. It's for here. It's called the War Measures Act.
Yeah,
it's an actual legitimate thing, and they haven't implemented it obviously because we don't need it. But it's one of those things that.
It was implemented in the 70s when there was a bunch of Quebec terrorists who were fighting for separation that they were actually throwing bombs.
Mailboxes and stuff. So
and they were kidnapping people. The minister Laporte, they kidnapped the minister, and they accidentally killed him. They literally weren't trying to kill him,
right?
But they tied him up, put him in the back of a trunk, and he suffocated. And that just escalated where they went, we're dropping the War Measures Act, and that I believe was our current prime minister's father who did that.
He did that. Yes, exactly. So, but anyway, so there you go. It could be worse. These things are in place for a reason.
Yeah, and that's why it's good that people keep an eye on them and keep it in check. But don't go overboard and think that everything is a lie, everything's a scam, the hospitals are empty. That's a load of bullshit.
Yeah.
Right? People are people are dicks. No, people are dying.
Yeah, well, that's I saw something this morning about somebody. Oh, don't believe this, and it's like it's the official, like say us with Health Canada are spending millions and millions and millions on research and doing all this stuff, but don't think your fucking Google skills are better or more or go take a deeper dive than these official
Yeah,
federal like
I
it
gotta
just
believe my neighbor who mixes cement for a living, who does all this research on Google in 2 days,
yeah.
knows way more than a doctor doing this for
Or just
20
or a
years.
doctor period who has a doctorate. You know what I mean who went to medical
Or even a
school.
fucking nurse who doesn't.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
Well, a doctor that went to medical school, went to college for 8 years, and actually got their doctorate when you went to college for 8 years to spend your parents' money, and now can drink lots. It
the I heard a lot of people say stuff like, "Well, the doctors never really know anything." And you go to one doctor, they say it's this. You go to another doctor, they give you a different opinion. Doctors never really know what's going on, and that is such an overgeneralization. Of
yes,
they grab every topic and they'll grab the one obscure thing that
the
people aren't.
exception to the rule. Yeah,
Yeah, the exception to the rule, and they make that the general rule for everything,
right.
and that gives them an excuse to come up with the most extreme bullshit I've ever heard.
Mm.
My brother's friends, there's a lot of them who believe that they're
Yes.
very religious,
Yeah.
and they'll tend to believe the church over doctors. They'll
Yes.
believe the pastor over the doctor because the pastor's the first one to say, "Well, look, I went and got like check for my thyroid, and turns out it was actually just tonsils. So these doctors don't know what they're talking about most of the time, anyways." You're right. They,
And
they study for
because they are the mouth of God.
yeah, they study books that are this thick, multiple of them. They
It's about
understand
12
all
inches
these
thick.
subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah, that are multiple, and like they study this their entire lives, but they don't know what they're talking about.
Exactly. Just listen to professionals, please. I'm the same way. Like, I wouldn't accept if somebody came and told me how to do my job. I wouldn't hear. But I wouldn't presume to go to these people's jobs and tell them how to do
Yeah,
theirs.
and you can't brush all the doctors with the same paintbrush because
No.
yes, you're going to get one or two kooks. I don't know if you've ever seen the president of the United States doctor. He's more of a hippie than anything.
Right.
Some people you can kind of go, well,
And that's
maybe
this is
don't believe
my
everything.
this was my point. If now is not the time to rely on your neighbor that Googles everything, or your reverend, or your pastor, or your priest, or it just or your
Yeah,
or
look,
if they're using
people are smart.
yeah
Sorry, persons are smart.
yes.
People are stupid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, put away your healing crystals. Let's listen to professionals right now, please. Okay, so also too, there was you notice our parliament they were arguing, and obviously Trudeau is a liberal, so he'd be like the American equivalent to Democrats right now is in power. Like you mean like
Right.
he's on the left side.
Yeah.
We have a conservative party.
He's supposed to be center, but he's so left now.
Yeah, exactly. So, and now the right side, one of the conservatives kept standing up. So how much are we going to be in debt after this? And he sits down, and then the liberal finance minister gets up. Well, this is hard to say. We're just trying to keep Canadians fed. We're trying to do this, Mr. Speaker. Then he sits down. The speaker goes, okay, what do you have a retort? He gets up. Yeah. So how much, Mr. Speaker? Sits down. He's just like, give us a number. It's like this is a massive crisis. This is a wrong time, like you said, to be forcing or sneaking stuff through Parliament or your Congress, you mean, under the rug while this is going on. But this is also the wrong time to be criticizing because it doesn't matter who's in power. You couldn't do any fucking better.
I get that.
In Canada. I'm not
There's
talking
nothing-
about the States.
Now the conservatives they like to say the more fiscal responsible party. They usually are.
Right.
So I can see them kind of keeping an eye on it because the thing is that remember the conservatives are also against the the gun
Yeah.
legislation that went through the gun grab, whatever you want to call it. They're against it.
Yeah.
Right. Because what happens is they said, okay, you can't, regardless of what's propaganda or not, the words are, you cannot have these weapons. We don't believe anybody should have these weapons.
Right.
Okay. So they say you're going to have an amnesty for 2 years, and then possibly we're going to buy them back for you. Not even close to what you paid for them, but you're going to, and we've set aside $2 billion to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. So are you going to do that at the end of 2 years? Oh, we're not sure. Okay. So that's going to cost $2 billion, but they're spending all this money now as a necessity.
Yep.
That money you're setting aside for your buybacks and all that stuff. We're going to be in a lot of debt when this is done. We're going to be in a lot of trouble. So what the conservatives are basically saying is like, you're setting this aside for what they call like an opportunity project,
Mm-hmm.
when you can take that money and help the coffers that you're draining right
Yeah.
now. Right. So that's kind of where they're going. They're kind of like,
But the
tell us
thing
what you're
is,
spending, because you're setting money aside for something that is not necessary. The reason I say it's not necessary is because they say like you shouldn't have these weapons and all that. You have three options. You can you can't sell them.
right?
You because no, and you can't sell them to the U.S.
No.
or anywhere else in the world. They're specifically made for Canada.
Right.
Small barrel lengths on it, so you can't sell them. So you could either bring them in if the government decides to buy them back,
Mm-hmm.
or bring them in and they'll melt them.
Yep.
You know what your other option is?
Turn it on yourself.
No, keep it.
Keep them. Yes.
No, it's a legit. No, that's
Yeah.
one of the things in their thing that says, oh, but if you want, you can keep it for your lifetime. Well, if your argument is that nobody should have these guns, you literally just told everybody, oh yeah, you can keep them.
And you know what? That might be a great idea. Great idea too. Grandfather clause.
Yeah, no, but you're telling me we can't have these guns anywhere.
I know.
Right?
That's the point.
We can't. Nobody should have these guns. All right.
Basically, you're saying,
what do we do with them? Oh, hang on to them. No, you just said I'm not supposed to have these.
Yeah.
You literally forced me.
No,
not to
they're
use
saying, yeah. If
you tell me to keep them.
if you own them before, you can keep them, but you can't go to the gun range.
No,
with them.
I
You
can't
go
keep them
anywhere.
because they're too dangerous to have, Robert.
I know. I understand
Too dangerous
that.
to have.
I
Why am I allowed to keep it?
I understand that.
Ridiculous.
But that's
so it's yeah. So anyways, so the financial part of it is because they're trying to get down to.
But the thing is also
how
too,
much are you spending? You know.
Yeah, but the thing is, on the buyback, they're not. It's not like they got a big pile of poker chips that represents Canadian money. Oh, here's 2 billion poker chips. We're gonna push that aside. No, it's everything we have. We're spending now. You know what I mean? I get this argument from because we have we can contribute to our Canada pension plan. We do. If you're a taxpayer in Canada, all your life off your paycheck, a little bit of your
yeah, but I'm not sure. But I believe he said he set that money aside.
No,
so.
no, it's not set aside.
I'll
Absolutely, because it doesn't work. But and also that's why I say it's like if I've been paying into CPP my whole life, that the money I collect, like the people collecting CPP now are taking out of that CPP fund that you and I are putting into. So it's the future. Anyway, it's along where it's just.
So my point is like financially, that's why they're kind of probing, because they're saying like you got other projects set aside. You know.
And let's be realistic. Anybody that's in power for the next 5 years to 10 years after this, anything they can't do would be like, oh, COVID. So, and again, it's just one of those things we're gonna
not just that. Like we're gonna be like in a lot of trouble, man.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like we're gonna be such in debt, and as long as that's why it's good to get people back to work, because they need that income to be generated.
As long as it's safe. And again, like debt we can pay off. And hey, just look at the states; they got piles of. Oh no, never mind.
Well, that's what I mean. Though, is just like if you've drained all your finances, and the government's drained their finances, nobody has any money to do anything. That's a depression.
No, I understand
right?
that, but
so we have to be careful, right?
I'd rather be depressed than dead.
Well,
or have my kid be dead.
Sometimes they're one and the same. I'm talking about a depression, not a recession.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, we're going to liven things up now. We're going to get off this. Yeah, holy fuck, we went on a tangent there. Yeah. So, and again, if whatever your views are, like, express them.
I'm not talking about, we're talking I just wanted to mention financially only.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, let's move on to something else. Facebook has introduced this new avatar thing. Now, we didn't pioneer the avatar, but if you look at our logo on your iPhone or your Android or on your live stream right now, that's a cartoon versions of us, right? We had them done up, and we're like, we were in the process of how we had final say on it, but we're like, oh, can you do this? Oh, I remember the first iteration, it was like you were like, oh, I look too angry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or this and that. So, and again, we may be slightly thinner. I actually, if you look at the side of my cap, I actually have hair. So yeah, they're not exact representations.
Yeah, it's like, what do we used to say? It was us in 15 years ago.
Yeah, us. Yeah, 20 years ago, us. So, and there are people. If we have friends of ours that notice that, it's like, it'd be like, oh, Roman, wow, he looks really thin. I'm like, yeah, and I have hair. It's not us, but. It's a logo, it's our brand, it's everything else. So this new avatar thing is coming out, but apparently I haven't done it. And you make it yourself. But out of everybody's I've been seeing, Wow, I don't know what the settings are on this thing, but you think you look a lot better than you do. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't want to be that asshole, but I'm gonna have to be today. You don't look like that. It's like having a cartoon version of you put on an Instagram filter and dialed up to 10. Like,
It's like everybody's suffering from body dysmorphia,
yes,
right? But the other way,
the other way.
right?
Like,
The reverse body dysmorphia, where everybody thinks they're better looking than they are, kind of like that typical guy who looks in the mirror. Yeah, still got it.
so yeah, exactly. So let's again. I think it's an honesty thing. You know what I mean? I think it's like. I see people way thinner on their avatar, and like obviously they're not gonna, you know what I mean, but I see people, way younger, or they're
now. Is that a reflection of how they hope people see them, or how they think they see themselves? Like, is it just a confidence? Like, are we looking at people who are very confident and
I don't
and happy
know, but
with
I've been
themselves?
seeing some. It's like, oh, hey, this is my avatar. I'm like, no, that's not your avatar. Who the fuck is that? That's not you. Fuck off. Like, you know what I mean?
Imagine that time so I was with my buddy Dennis, and we're at the university, and at the time I had bought a pair of boxers. They're European boxer shorts, and European
Right.
boxer shorts don't have a fly,
Right.
right? So you have to pull them down. So we were just going to the urinal. Typical, there are 5 urinals. He's at one end, I'm at the other. We know the rules.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I go in, and I had just finished going, and I put my hand down my pants to kind of like straighten out my boxer shorts. They had kind of ridden up.
Oh yeah.
So I was pulling the leg parts back down, but I had done it from going inside my pants.
Yes.
And my buddy walks in, and he sees me with my arm almost down my leg.
Pant leg. Yeah.
My pant leg, and he goes, "Fuck off. It's not that big."
He thinks you're tucking it in your.
He thinks I'm reaching. Hang on, I nearly got to tip.
I almost got it. Gotta reel in this hose.
It's kind of like that image where people, like, it's a perception.
Yes.
You're like, dude, I'm just pulling down my boxer shorts, man. Take it easy.
Well, a good trick, and ladies, here we'll let you in on this trick here. If a guy's standing at a urinal, if you have like a belt on and you have a long enough strap, you can actually wave the strap to make it look like you're shaking your dick after you piss, and the guys don't look, but in their peripheral, they'll see this big thing flopping around. They'll be like, and you'll just see their body tighten and look forward. Even it's like, holy fuck, what is that guy swinging over there?
It's like a big dick in a locker room. I've never been that guy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Bert Kreischer. I've never been that guy, but I've seen it. Oh, okay. Oh, somebody's here.
All right.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh my god, you see how fucking? Man, I just caught a glimpse here, but I think fucking Rob's packing, and it's black."
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Oh yeah. Well, I think I don't know if I've ever said this before. I remember going on a trip, and I got one of these. I had to go to the washroom. I'm just going to skip right to the chase. I had to pull over on the side of the highway and had to go.
Oh, yeah.
So, but there I am. But it was like cars are whizzing by. So there's a lot going on. And it's like, it's hard to perform in that moment. And my wife is in the car. And so I run around the other side of the car, open the passenger door so I can shield myself. So people obviously know I'm pissing, but they can't see me. My wang hanging out, right? So, and then my wife's in the car, and she's looking at me, and she's making eye contact, and I just, what are you doing? I'm like, turn around. I'm like, she's like, what am I doing wrong? I'm like, don't look at me while I'm pinging. Again, she doesn't know protocol. Like, if I was like, hey man, I gotta take a leak, and you were in the car, you wouldn't even look anywhere near where I was.
Fuck no. But I mean, a lot of women don't know the protocol, and two, it's fascinating to them.
Exactly. Or he's just hanging.
Why does he miss? I'm going to see what the hell he does.
Yeah, he's just hanging down on the side of the road here. Like, this is amazing. So,
he's like, honey, I've seen you naked plenty of times. We've done stuff. I don't know if you remember. It's like, yeah, but this is stuff we're not going to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I know couples after a while, they get so comfortable, and it's just like one walks in while one's on the throne. No, that's a line for me. No, I don't need you seeing me like this. I don't want to see you like this.
Crunching a deuce.
You have your private time. I'll have my private time. Let's keep a little mystery in the relationship.
Exactly. All right. Are you ready for some unsolicited advice?
Sure.
All right. Okay, we're going to hop on to this one here. And again, if the folks don't know, every week we give unsolicited advice to people that write in for advice columns. So here is the question this week. I'm single and on dating apps. While swiping through Tinder, I saw my friend's husband. I know without a doubt it was him. He and my friend met on Tinder 3 years ago and got married shortly after. So I think he would have deleted his profile by now. I was in shock when I saw it, and my first reaction my first reaction was to share it with my friend. I accidentally swiped left on him because of my panic before I got a chance to share the screenshot. So I guess she got rid of she didn't swipe right, so she got rid of it. So she didn't take with her phone.
Right. Okay.
They are not in an open relationship. I am torn about what to do now. Do I let my friend know what I saw, having no proof, or just keep my mouth shut while she may be living with an unfaithful spouse? I see my friend maybe once a month, but she and I are best friends from high school, and I care deeply for her. I have never had a bad interaction with her husband, but now I'm suspicious of his character. I want to hope he has just never got around to deleting his profile, but 3 years is a long time for it to still exist. Signed, on Tinder.
Okay. So, yeah. I don't know Tinder because I'm obviously a fan of Christian Grindr.
Yes.
I don't know if you don't use I believe, because I think I was on Tinder for like 5 minutes. I think if you don't use your profile, it goes dormant.
It ages out, right?
Yeah, I believe after 3 years. I don't think you're on the active. Mm-hmm. You have to be logging in to look, I believe. Let's assume that he's not using it, right?
Right.
Instead of telling her, tell him.
Yes.
Call him up and go, look, I'm swiping through Tinder.
I'm just going to save you your profile. Yeah, I'm going to save you a headache, man. I know, and just play stupid about it. Be like, hey, I'm sure you just forgot to delete this, but like, oh my God, if I'm just saying, I know your wife. We were best friends in high school. If she found out about this, she would take it the wrong way. Like, play it like she's on his side.
Yeah, or I would, just say, like, look, this is a serious thing. Very important for me that my friend's happiness.
Yes.
So, I'm telling you this, whether it was by accident that it's still around, or you're still using it. I don't care. Right? Go delete that app.
Yeah.
Delete your profile. Right? And I won't bring it back up.
Yep.
Right? But if for any reason it comes back up and it happens, I see it again, or I know you still have that profile, I'm telling her.
Mm-hmm.
You get one warning.
Yeah.
And not threatening, just like you get one warning.
Right.
Go in, delete it, we're good. Don't delete it, or I find out it still exists, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like...
Well, now, he may be cruising around and she wants to tell her friend, well, what if he's cheating on her? Don't have any proof of that.
No.
Right?
And it could be, and they did.
And then you just up your suspicion of him.
Like, yeah, she knew he was on Tinder, so maybe it is. But again, I think I would look into the logistics first. Like, do you got to turn the app on every 3 months in order for it to still be active? You mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would check. I would do a little research, because this is a huge deal. This will fuck up a marriage. This is have terrible consequences if it was misunderstood. But also too, if you're best friends with somebody, like, even if people are married, what people have to realize, people get married like, oh, that's my new best friend. Yeah, sure, it's the best friend. But I could be married and divorced 6 times. I'm still going to have the same best friends from high school. You know what I mean? Like people, you and I and our group of friends have seen each other through multiple wives, multiple girlfriends, and the one especially.
Well, I mean, you guys.
Yeah, especially with dudes. Yeah. I always said this before. Women have their best friend is the person they have the most classes with that semester. Guys' best friends are the same best friend they had. Like, it is what it is, and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, so it doesn't matter who they're with and who, like, it's just a different story.
I've had that knock in the middle of the night of your buddy getting thrown out and then gonna stay on your couch. Is this really happening?
Yeah.
All right, get in here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, that's it. It's done. Never going to see her again. It's over. Okay, dude. That's great. Yeah, your life will be better. Okay, wake up the next morning. Hey, he's not here. Don't hear from him for 3 days. And then when you finally reach him, you're like,
Yeah.
dude, where the hell have you been, man? I thought you were dead. Oh no, well, we got back together. Everything's good now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you couldn't
You're just
close
like,
that.
fuck you.
It's like, yeah, you had that open tab with me on the computer. You couldn't fucking close it. Anyway, yeah, I would do the research first.
Yeah, do the research and then confront him, not her,
Yeah,
because you don't want to hurt her and give her suspicions for the rest of her life
yeah,
if you got
exactly.
no proof. So you confront him, and if it is an app that goes dormant if you don't use it, then you come out with, hey, if he says, oh, it's my profile, I didn't know, I didn't realize it was on.
Yeah,
Nope, sorry, that profile only shows up if it's active. It goes dormant if it doesn't.
yeah, you're fucking lying.
You're fucking lying.
Yeah,
Delete that app, and we'll forget this conversation happened.
yeah, exactly. Just
Leave
keep
it,
in
and
mind. Yeah, because
then you leave it.
yeah, because you don't need that seed of doubt, especially.
Yeah, because I'm sure they're friends, right?
Yeah,
Like
of
I'm sure,
course.
like that's her friend's husband. They get along. They probably
Yeah.
she probably goes over for evenings and stuff. She doesn't want to make it awkward between them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and also too, if every time you move for the rest of your life, you have another helping hand.
So in order to do that, you just say it's a one-time conversation. We're never going to bring it up again.
Yeah,
I won't be looking at you with suspicion,
yeah.
but I know you're using it, this and that. And if I find out anything's going on and you didn't delete it,
Boom.
right,
There you go.
you're done.
All right, so there you go, people. We are Victoria Day long weekend. Well, again, for a lot of people, long weekend don't mean shit right now, but
Yeah.
hey,
It's like when they tell me, they're like, hey, you want to use some vacation time? I'm like, to go where?
yeah. And again,
Here?
I know where we are in our province, our province, our a lot of restrictions are being lifted, which is great for the economy. But please bear in mind, be safe, just be aware of what's going on. And again, we eventually have to roll out stuff, but yeah, just don't be silly about it, and especially be mindful around the people who are extra susceptible, like the elderly or this. And again, I know it sounds very Canadian. I can't help but hold the door for an elderly person, or you mean as sexist as that is, or a lady. You mean, or you mean if you're a dude,
sexist.
or a dude if they got their arms full. You mean like it's just there's some things we have to kind of curb. So let's all keep that in mind when we're out. So right now I'll take care of a little bit of housekeeping. Remember, if you're listening to this and you are a fellow podcaster and you were buddies online and we know each other and everything else, we are continuing our quarantine crossover series as long as this is going on. So we record Mondays, usually around noon. And again, that's a little bit flexible, but we can, hey, if you're more than welcome to at least drop us a line. We can see if we can hook up on the Roman Podcast, do some cross pollination here, cross promotion. So with that being said, if you want to find the show, we are on Twitter and Instagram at Roman Podcast. You can find myself. I am at Robert MMcast on Twitter and Instagram. You can find Roman. He is the Roman LeBeau on Twitter, Instagram, and he is Roman Citizens on everything else, including Snapchat, the aforementioned Christian Grinder, regular Tinder. No,
Dumpster Tinder.
Dumpster Fire Tinder.
Yeah.
So you can find Roman there. Don't forget, RomanPodcast.com or .ca will take you right to our TeePublic store for all your Roman Podcast merch, our vintage logo, our current logo, our COVID-19 logo, all the good stuff you can find there. You will not be disappointed for all your Roman Podcast merch needs. The networks we're on: the Points of Interest Podcast Network, the EMC Podcast Network, the Tangible Network, and we're also sponsored by, endorsed by Emotionally 14. Google all four of those places. You will not be let down. So much awesome content, especially if you're sitting around bored. You will not be. This is fantastic. Just looking at any of those places, you'll be very, very happy you did. Ooh, what else we got next? Oh yeah, our COVID-19 tasty nude campaign. You have any tasty nudes you want to send Roman? Send them to romanpodcast@gmail.com. I'm a happily married man. I'm not into the tasty nudes. I don't need any of that. But, if you got something tastefully done, I'll
Be sure to wear a mask in your photos, all right? Want to be safe here.
Yeah, want to be safe. Want to wear a mask. Yeah, so you have any tasteful nudes, send them the same address, care of Rob, romanpodcast@gmail.com, and we will happily peruse your tasty or tasteful nudes. Last but not least, our review reach around. If you want to give Roman or Rob a review reach around, go to Apple Podcasts, give us a star rating and review, and we call it the review reach around.
Right, that's a 5-star. Sure, that looks like you as an avatar. Reach around.
Yeah. So until next week, I'm Robcast.
And I'm your host, Roman LeBeau.
And we'll see you next time. Later.